Hey everybody, I'm Nick Griffin here, and welcome back to 7 Billion Humans. We're working on optimizing some of the stuff that we've already gone over. Last time we spent way too much time. So clearly, everything about this code is terrible. Let's hit yes. What? Oh. Oh my gosh. The way that reset button works resets to what it was to begin with. So how do we make this more efficient? So here's the dumb thing. When it comes to efficiency, I guess actually I should have stuck with it. When it comes to efficiency, at least in terms of speed, the absolute fastest way to do something is hard coding exactly what you need. Now, the reason why that will likely not work the reason why this doesn't work is because maybe the whole point of this code is that this maze changes. 9 of your commands we are going to get completely wrong, but we hit the average beautifully. So, dang it, I figured as much. So, how do we get to this? So here's the fun thing, is we never want to move up. So we can say if below us is a hole, and then we can say if it's actually not going to work. So basically we could say if this way is the hole, we want to step that way until that is a hole, and then we want to jump out. This is sort of a more ideal situation. Oh no, I don't. Well, games I'm following are going to be posting Happy New Year, I guess. So, that takes care of a couple different situations. Okay, how about this? Here's the fundamental thing. We're trying to move down. If below us is not a hole, we step down. It's that simple. Like that, boom, done. So that means these movements down are always good. So what happens when it is a hole? So if it is a hole, and we might use an else here. In fact, we will probably be using an else. And we're going to be looping this forever. Else, if to our left is a hole, we want to step right I mean, we can always try and pick up. It's going to slow us down, but we already got that optimization, so don't much care. It just hurts us coding-wise. obviously that's not going to work. So we want this running all the time. The question is, how do we preserve which way we want to be moving? That's the hard part. Because we want this running all the time. This is basically the hard part of this. Because most of these 2 steps, 2 steps, 2 steps, 1, 2, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3 steps. So it's those 3 steps that we can probably optimize a little bit. And by probably, I mean that's the idea behind this code is either, well, we could just randomly wander is the fun part. That could work. But we don't actually have an RNG function here, so we can't. Because what I could say is if it's safe to go right or left, just pick one randomly, and that would work. Because our basically our case here is that we can't go down, we have to go left or right. So which do we pick? And obviously here, it's obvious. We don't want to step right, we want to go left. But once we're standing here, it's hard to say. Actually, it's not. I just came up with an idea. No, that doesn't work. We could step 2, step 2, step 2, step 2. The problem is that second step 2 becomes a problem. Yeah. Because what we could do is we could say, if you end up in this situation where you can't go down, obviously, and you can't go right, go left until you hit a hole. Problem is, you can't go left until you hit a hole because you'll end up trapped here. So there's actually a way to do this. So if right is a hole, step left, else step right. And this is going to get us stuck right here. We're going to bounce back and forth. That's my prediction. Oh, sorry, we simpler. We get stuck right there. This isn't going to work either. Yeah, okay. Okay, how do we do this in 9 instructions? See, here's the problem. This is 13 instructions. And we can probably, and I mean, as it is, I can bring it down to 9, or sorry, to 12. This is where the interesting thing happens. That's an interesting thought. I was just thinking, we only go left once, we only go right once. Oh, man, I hate this. I hate clearing this. So that whole if below you is not a whole. Step down is actually really nice. If to your right is a hole, step left, step left, else step right, pick up outside of all that. Crap, I'm one off. Oh, here we go. I found it. So if to your right is a hole and your left does not equal a hole, you step left. Otherwise you step right. Actually, no, that's going to make us bombardier off there. Actually, this is dumb. So if to your right is a hole and, actually, and below you is a hole, you step left. No, this else still kills us. Okay, there's a way to do this. There's a way to do this. We still have, we have one more else or if. Okay, so if below you is a hole, or is not a hole, we always step down. That is always true. If to the right of us is a hole, and below us is a hole, we always step 2 to the left. If we don't hit either of those, any of those conditions, we want to step right. But more specifically, if below us is a hole, we want to step right. I actually think this might work. We step down. We do not meet that. We do not meet that. We don't need to pick up. We do meet that, so we step left. We don't meet that. Below us is not a hole, so we step down. Below us is not a hole, so we step down. If below us equals a hole, step right. Okay, this should work. Alright, so the reason why that worked... I need to go back to the code. Yeah, this takes forever, by the way. Queen of inefficiency, fantastic. So the reason why this works, and the only reason this works, and I do mean the only reason this works, is because this if statement is before this if statement. Because, here, I'll show you. If we switch this, we die right there. I'm going to remove the pickup because it just takes extra time. Guess what? We die. Because we never actually reached that situation. So this is terrible, terrible coding because the order of these things matters. But really it's because we're trying to reduce the number of else's by having these weird ifs. It's dumb. Believe me, I know. Actually, I think... I think we could actually do this. Like you could do this like this. Yeah, see that's the annoying part. Is we become off by 1. This still works. This should work just fine. Actually, it might not. Huh, it did work. But we're off by 1 because we have that else. That's really what it is. Actually, can we, if we get rid of this else, does it work? I don't think it does. Yeah, we die immediately. Okay. Anyway, back to the elevator. Can I go back to the elevator, please? I wanted to get at least both of these done in this episode and see a new one, but all right, let's see how bad things are. We need 5 commands and our average is 10 seconds. So here's the dumb part. It doesn't matter if our people survive. So you always step down. You pick up. If below you is a whole drop, there we go. That'll be 5 commands. So yeah, doesn't matter if our people live. And actually that was a little slow. 6 seconds, huh? Interesting. Interesting. Right, it's because of this pickup. I'm actually curious how this improves things. We go from 14 seconds to 10. Interesting. It keeps into a nice line along the bottom row between the 2 arrows. So how do we make this faster? How do we run if we don't check this every time? Interesting. It's this if statement. Yeah. Right. Okay. No, that doesn't work at all, actually. This might be 9 seconds. We save very little time. Yeah. The reason why we save time is because this else. Because when this is here, we run this every time. When this is here, we run it one less time, and it's the time that it's here. So I wonder if we can count the seconds here. So 1, 2, dang it. 1, 2, 3. Oh gosh, okay, this isn't working. I'm trying to count based on their actions and it doesn't work. So how do we make this more efficient? How do we make this more efficient? How do we make it faster is really the correct answer. Because this is important. Because we don't want to be picking up when there's nothing to pick up. That incurs a penalty that is significantly worse than what we want. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna do this, aren't I? So, oopsie. Step. Step. Right, I can get away with 3 steps. If above you is a data cube, pick it up. One, two, three, 4. Drop. Else you step. This is gonna be stupid, by the way, and I already hate it. If above you is a data cube, I tried by checking above. I'm reducing a whole bunch of steps because I'm preventing 2 of these steps. Above you is a data cube. Pick up above you. That's for this case. So they're there. So step, step. Is that right? Step, step, step. Pick up. Step, step, step. Drop. Step, step, drop for them. If that's still not correct, you step down. Remember when I said hard coding is technically more optimal in terms of speed, but it takes up a much larger memory footprint? This is that perfect example. So that's step, 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 step. So 5 steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's this case. Pick up, step, drop. Yep. Else, step down, pick up, up, drop. I hate that worked. I hate everything about the fact that worked. Just be 6 seconds. Oh jeez, it's 4 seconds. Alright, I found a stupid solution that worked. I mean, if you have a small enough sample space and you don't care about how much memory it takes, that works, and that's perfectly valid. Let's see if I can at least do one of these. At least get it done. Whoo! Important data cubes for management. I put them down there on the floor in those horizontal lines, most of them anyway. I kind of zoned out. Would you guys fill in the missing data in each line? Just put those data cubes wherever they fit. Order doesn't matter. I think there should be one empty slot below each of you. Alright, so basically, step down, well, actually what we should do is pick up, down, and then step down if to the left of you is a data cube, and to the right of you is a data cube, and where you are, there is nothing. Drop. Problem solved. Ta-da! That was pretty easy. Now, how bad did we do on this? Bingo. This, yeah. I wonder if I can get this done before we hit a half-hour episode. So, this clearly needs to be a little bit faster. I wonder if the number of if checks matters. So, here's the dumb part. Step down. Step down. Step down. So pick up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the minimum number, and that's when they check. Else, step down, step down. Because that's the next check. Because after this, they're always 2 apart. Now, this is arguably false, but it's not. This is one of those things that's like, it's true. And that also technically means I'm actually curious. I'm gonna go back and check one more thing. Yeah, that clears, but this should work. Yeah. I wonder, so that took 6 seconds. I want to know if this makes it slower. Doesn't change anything, but the if statements are longer. And this is, okay, so technically it seems like no. Well, I managed to nail that one. It's funny how the harder ones are actually easier. Oops. Okay, let's not panic. It happened again. Management sent some important data cubes. I put most of them down there on the floor, but I think I missed a few spots. I mean, either. Okay. This is our life together now, so share the data and fill in the horizontal lines however you like. Okay. This one will be much more interesting. And I don't think I'm going to get it done in 2 minutes. So I can do this in some very inefficient ways. I'm thinking about whether or not they bump into each other. So, obviously pick up down. So they all have their data. So I'm thinking the correct way to go here. So I have a feeling that the way that this is going to work is in the other random tests that come up or that generate. Okay, dang. I wanted it to re-randomize so I could see. Because your options here are twofold. I think the option here is twofold. The first one is go down until they find data and have them try and spread out until they find empty data or until they bump into somebody else and then move down. Or you could try and do like a weaving pattern. Okay, so I think we then go step down, step down, step down. If your current spot is nothing, you drop and you're done. Otherwise, that's when it's going to get interesting. Otherwise, if to your left is a worker, oh, that's going to be so inefficient. So I kind of want them to run this gauntlet. But I actually need to check something. If to your left is a worker, step left. What does this do? Oh! That's weird. It pushes them all the way through. Okay, so I have my plan then. I think? That's really weird. Stop telling me that I failed. Okay, there's definitely something interesting going on here, and I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to use that to my advantage, but I think it means that you can have people walk through others. So, if we just have them walk left until they hit a wall, walk down until they hit a number, and then walk right until they hit a wall, walk down until they hit a number, repeat, we solve it. And of course in the interim, checking. But that's going to be saved for next time. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you next time. But until then, keep your ears turning.